Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Excuse the wind. It is so windy. It's nice and cool out here today too. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Got a few things I want to do today. One is to get these knuckleheads outside. They have been going crazy waiting on me to wake up and let them go outside and play. What you got? Mia's got her favorite toy. Give me that ball. We got a few things we want to do today. One was to let the dogs out, let them run around and play. They are just having a fit wanting outside. And Mia is the most outside dog I've ever seen. He's getting there. Odin is getting there. But what I wanted to do today is check these mouse traps. I'm still trapping mice, trying to trap mice. Not quite working out. I've got a ton of suggestions of things to do. One thing that I'm definitely going to do is try the Tootsie Rolls. Everybody's been telling me to try Tootsie Rolls. I could have swore we had some in the house. I was going to do it last night or today, and we don't have any. But while I'm on my route today, when I stop, I'm picking up some Tootsie Rolls. For you guys that have suggested Tootsie Rolls, I'm definitely going to try it. It makes all the sense in the world to shove a Tootsie Roll on there, give them something to pull on. We're going to try the Tootsie Rolls. But let's go in here in the chicken coop and see if we got a mouse. Okay guys, we're in the chicken coop. It's really funny. Every time I come in here, I have to stop the video and turn the radio off. I don't want to get in trouble for having music playing. But that thing has worked great for keeping predators away. As far as foxes and stuff, that's the way to go. Just keep a little radio playing. We leave it running 24 hours a day. And I wanted to show you guys, we're getting eggs again. Thank goodness. We haven't been getting eggs in a while, so I make sure to come down here and look. We're getting 2 or 3 a day. And hey, I love it. Finally getting some eggs. I want to check another little box we'll leave. But let's check these mouse traps real quick. I'm gonna put these eggs in my pocket. Let's check the mouse traps. First one we're gonna check is of course under here. And it's been covered up with dirt. And we haven't got anything. I know I'm gonna get my finger. But I'm gonna keep it. Yep, they've licked the bait off, just what everybody was telling me. It looks like they've licked the bait off. And that's what everybody's been telling me they're going to do. So we're going to get some Tootsie Rolls tonight. I'm going to leave it there just in case. I got to feed the chickens too. These things here have not been touched. I thought these traps were going to be awesome, but they have really let me down. I haven't seen anything active. All right, that one been tripped. That one has been tripped. And one under here, I thought. Yep, they licked the, dang it. Just like what y'all said, they licked all the bait off that. Of course, everything's in the way. I almost smacked my finger. Licked all the bait off that. So that the chickens don't get it. So, and that one down there, I can see has had the bait licked off it as well. Now this one's been tripped. That one's finally been tripped, and it was over there in the corner over there. Oh, look at the little, they've been sticking their tongue on it. That's hilarious. All right, that is hilarious. Dang, I'm gonna go ahead and set that one back. That was super easy. Let me set that one back. We might hit the lottery or something on that one. Let's see what happens. But the rest, I'm gonna leave alone. I'm just gonna wait till I get some Tootsie Rolls and see if the Tootsie Rolls work. That's super fun. Let me feed these chickens real quick, and we'll get to the meat of the video. Something I've been wanting to show you guys. We're gonna climb in the vineyard real quick. Let them chickens eat. All right, guys, well, we are in the Muscadine vineyard. As you can see, things are looking good. Except I had one plant. These are I'm in the row here where our 2-year-old plants. We planted these 2 years ago. And I had one plant, it didn't die, it just wouldn't grow. it was like, I don't know, it just wouldn't grow. I pruned it, I fertilized it, I did everything I did to every other plant, and I could not get any growth out of it. So I took last year and just cut it down, or at the end of summer, this past summer, I always say last year, at the end of the summer, I cut it down, and I was just gonna replace it. This one of our Supreme, it's one of the varieties that Ison's Nursery sells. These 2 rows here, that little short row, because I had a little extra room, I added a short row there. And then this little short rows, 2 rows of Supreme. I don't want to say they're my favorite grape because I got so many favorites, but they're awesome. The Supreme are just, they grow those giant purple muscadines that are just really a firm, delicious, just a delicious grape. But that's what this row is, a Supreme. I need to replace this today, so I thought I'd show you guys not how to plant a bunch of muscadines, but just how to plant one. And show you guys how easy it is. At the end of the video, I want to show you how fast they grow, how awesome they are, and try my hardest to convince all you guys to get you some muscadine grapes. They're just such an easy fruit to plant on your property. You don't need any room. They're just a super easy grape to grow. But let me get to it. I want to plant this Supreme and show you some of the tools I use and some of the things we use to get them up the first year. Well, of course, the first thing you want to do is dig your hole. Don't dig a small hole, dig a big hole. I try to use a general rule. I dig a hole 3 times as big as my pot, but bigger, better. For the fact you want them roots to hit that nice soft soil and just grow right into that nice soft soil. But one thing, this is a huge chunk of clay right here. I remember planting it right here. This is a huge chunk of clay. So you want to give them a nice hole so over time they can really, them roots can really spread out. Okay, next. Okay, next we're going to plant our plant not real deep. We want it level with the ground. I take my pot off and I bust these roots up, let them sort of spread out, and I do it over the hole. Look at that big guy. We'll put him back in there. All right, what you want to do next after you have your plant in the ground, when you buy your vines, a lot of times they'll just have stuff growing everywhere. You want to find your main vine and follow it all the way up to the top of your wire. And what you'll have to do, set this camera here, what you'll have to do is come and cut all this extra growth off. And you'll hate to cut it, but it just works out better that way. You'll get that growth up, because you're trying to train your plant up and out, both out the wire. And you don't want any side growth to slow that growth down the wire down. You don't want to slow that down. So everything coming up and shooting out is just extra growth you don't need. So you just go ahead and cut all that off and to get ready for spring. Now this one is really pretty, how it just runs long. I would love for that to reach the top of the wire, and I'd go ahead and cheat and let that run each way of the wire. But it doesn't reach the top of the wire, so I'm gonna get rid of one of them. This seems to be my strongest one. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one off and have one solid vine, and I'll show y'all why here in a second. All right, guys. Next is I want to put these Blue X tubes on my plants. You'll see them all over my vineyard. They act sort of like a little small greenhouse for your plants. They also help to keep rodents from chewing on your plants, like rabbits and stuff. We've never had any problem with that, but we seem to get a lot of first-year growth using these. Ison's Nursery recommends them, so we get them. They work really, really well, easy to put together. I say that, and I won't get into it, but they come with two pieces. They come with a tube and a piece of heavy-duty plastic. You just roll it up. And if you order your plants from Ison's, I would highly recommend getting some of these tubes. Really, really simple to put together. And what you do is you take your plant and just stick your plant in it. I zip strap them. A couple of zip straps to the bottom wire to hold it in place. There you go. Now you got this long floppy plant. Okay, next what you want to do after you get your tube strapped to your bottom wire is you have this long vine hanging. We want to train this thing up the wire. So the best way to do that is have a string that runs from the top wire to the bottom wire. It's the way I do it. And they sell these tools at Ison's Nursery. I bought one because I'm doing so many. You really don't have to use this. You can use a bread tie, a zip tie, anything to just sort of secure it to your string. What this does, it pulls out a little piece of ribbon and secures it to the string. And just a neat little tool to have. But you don't need that. Like I say, you can use a bread tie, zip tie, just whatever you can use to secure it to it. But you'll have to watch it as it grows. It'll outgrow your zip tie. If you put a zip tie on there, you don't want it too tight because it'll outgrow and it'll grow over your zip tie and stunt your plant's growth. What we're going to do next is trim the top of this thing, and we're done. All right, guys, now that your plant is at the top of your wire, you're trying to train it this spring and summer to run down each side of this wire right here. And that's a 10 foot. That's a 10 foot mark. So you're trying to train it 10 foot that way and 10 foot this way. The goal is to get it the whole length of both sides, both ends of the wire the first year. That way, your second year, you'll start putting on fruit. And the third year, you're really putting on fruit. But what you want to do with a tall vine like this, you want to cut it, and everybody's different. I cut mine just about 1 inch below the wire because, I'm doing this with one hand. If you cut it 1 inch below the wire, when these, about right here, when these things take off, they're gonna come up and they're gonna start growing. It'll split in the spring, and then you can start your growth down the wire. And I'll show videos later this spring how to help promote that growth down the wire, so stick around for that. But what I want to do first is see about where to cut. And I'm going to cut right about there. And that'll help that when it starts to take off. That'll help that plant take, excuse me. I'm sitting here looking to see if I did it right. That'll grow it right down the wire each way. It'll take off and it'll go right down the wire. Shouldn't have no problem. These are some super strong looking plants. I really like the thickness of that plant for a first year plant. They really, really look good. So let me gather up my tools and I want to talk to you guys about growing muscadines. Okay guys, this is the part of the video where I try to convince all you guys to grow Muscadine grapes. I absolutely love them. They're super fast growing and easy to grow. Anybody can do it. It doesn't take a lot of work. I'm actually going to put out a video sometime in the middle of next week showing how to put in a super small vineyard. My son just bought a house and we're putting in a small vineyard over there. We basically did everything in an hour and a half. He's got 3 plants, and with 3 plants, with each plant you should get around 100 pounds of fruit. You can get up to 100 pounds of fruit per plant per year. That's 300 pounds of grapes every year. It's just a crazy grape. It was just, our governor just January 1st just made it the official grape of Georgia. The Muscadine is now the official grape of Georgia. It's pretty cool. But I want to show you guys what we did over there. Now remember, these are 2-year-old plants. We just planted these 2 years ago. They just grow ultra fast, incredibly fast. And I'll show you the size. This is the size of our plant after 2 years. And you can see we keep the growth cut back all the way up the vine because you want that nutrients from the soil, because we fertilize them pretty heavy. The water, the fertilizer, all that. You want that nutrients to come up the vine and out, because you don't want grapes growing down here. You want them growing all the way out the wire. And you could see where I made my cut right here when I first planted it and how it split. And we trained this main one all the way down. We trained that main one all the way down. And like I said, this spring, I'll show you how I do that. I'll put out some videos showing you, excuse me, how we train them. And it's really simple. It's nothing to it. They're such an easy plant to grow. I just can't emphasize it enough. They actually, when the birds eat them and stuff, you can walk out here in the woods. They just grow everywhere out here in the south. They grow everywhere. And I mean, they'll have trunks on them, look like little trees out here, and they'll grow to the very, you can find them out here at the very tips of these pine trees, and they'll just take over the trees. But they won't put on a lot of good grapes for the fact they can't get enough nutrients from the soil up for the grapes to grow. So what we do is there's been studies showing that your best grapes are grown at the first 10 foot of your plant. So you grow them 10 foot each way, and even when they get past that 10 foot, I start cutting them. And I keep them trained to the 10 foot section. But I could ramble about muscadines. I'm absolutely obsessed with them. I'm not a professional grower at all. This is all a hobby. I'm still learning. I know this wind's going crazy. I'm still learning every day. I make it a point to try to talk to all the Isons folks when I go up there, because I'm always picking up knowledge from them. They're just the best. You can see on this plant right here how it literally stops right here. But these are all 2-year-old plants, and they're looking really good. We had a lot of grapes on them this year. This 3rd year should be heavenly out here. It is literally like growing. Paula Wells, go check out her channel. Paula Wells came out here and visited us one time, and she just named it, she said it just right. It's like growing candy. They're easy to grow, fast growing, and they're a southern grape. I meant to say that too. They're really a southern grape from Kentucky down. We've heard of them being grown in Ohio and stuff, but if your temperature gets below 0 degrees in the winter and stuff, you're going to have a really tough time growing these. They're just going to have a tough time. They're really a warm weather plant, and they can grow in literally any soil. You can grow them in sand, clay. It doesn't matter. We don't do any amending to our soil. We don't do anything. I dig a hole, stick a plant in it, and it grows. They're just a really easy grape to grow. If you guys have any questions about growing muscadines, shoot them to me. I'll do my best to answer them. And like I say, next week, look at Mia. She is just having a ball out there running around. But next week, I'm going to do a video over at my son showing you guys how easy it is. We're pretty much done. We did the trellis and planted the plants. We just didn't run the wire because we're waiting on the concrete on the end post to dry. But it'll be a fun little video to show you guys that, look, if you got just a little piece of property, I mean, all you need's a little strip of land to grow some grapes. They love a lot of sun, so if you could put them in a lot of sun, that'd be awesome. Contact Isons Nursery. A quick plug to them. I buy all my fruit from Isons Nursery. They're just the best people ever. They have awesome plants. They ship. If you have any questions, again, I'm trying to make sure I haven't forgot anything. If y'all have any more questions or any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. I absolutely love them. We're going to be doing a pruning video here pretty soon in February. We prune them all in February because you want to keep them pruned. A lot of people down here will plant their plants. If you ever see them, I know a lot of you southern folks will see muscadines and it just looks like a giant carpet hanging down, and the first thing they say, we didn't get muscadines this year. We don't ever get muscadines anymore, because you have to keep your plants pruned. Your fruit grows on new wood, so you have to prune your plants every year for them grapes to grow. And people just plant them and expect to get grapes every year, and that's just not the way it works. But anyway, leave me some comments, guys. Love you guys to death. I'm going to do the Tootsie Rolls and the chicken pen tomorrow. I'll keep y'all posted on that. Love you guys to death. Do me a favor, subscribe, like, share. Let everybody know. Get some muscadines, y'all. Get your neighbors to get involved. Everybody buy some muscadine grapes. Have some fun with it. We'll see y'all on the next video.